'Twas the night before Christmas, and Santa was preparing his sleigh. While I am writing this script, I realise this is a bit cliché. Most people are prepared and could relax for the night, but one gamer had not. That sounds about right. So off to town he went. He had a gift to acquire. His best friend it was for, so the situation is dire. So come join him on this journey. It might even be fun. And let's find the perfect gift and finally get this done. Finding Christmas gifts for friends can be an absolute nightmare. God, what kind of person knows the hobbies of all their best friends? Stalkers, that's who. Thankfully, as a gamer, I couldn't imagine anybody not being into gaming too, so I think that's the route we're going to be going with this year. But that does kind of raise its own issue. What game to buy? Hell, not even that, but what genre of game? This was my biggest question, so off to town I went to scour the shelves of any game shop I could find, and a fun combination of indecisiveness and anxiety meant that I bought half the shop's worth. And I really can't afford to be doing that, what with the Steam sales in full swing and all. So I guess now is the time to sift through them all and figure out which is the perfect game for Christmas. Initially, I was in a really festive mood and was basically just looking at anything that had winter or festive themes. I love playing through winter-based maps and games at this time of year. It really puts me in that festive mood, and being able to enjoy the cold atmosphere whilst being all cozy at home just hits different, you know? It's why so many Mario games can encompass this feeling. There generally always seems to be a world or level that is full to the brim with snow, often with these adorable little penguins littered about. Games like Stardew are also amazing for giving you this feeling. While spring and summer aren't all that Christmassy, autumn and winter have such an atmosphere about them that somehow feels cold and like there is a real change in the air. Autumn is definitely more centered around Halloween, but it's still a great stepping stone into winter, which honestly just hits you like a truck. You step outside and BAM! Everything is covered in a thick layer of snow, the music is so much more delicate, and when you head into the town square, you're hit with all of the decorations. I absolutely love this time of year in the game. The Festival of Ice, the Night Market, and of course, the Feast of the Winter Star, all just give this amazing wintry feeling. The only issue is though, many of these games are either not going to have the same feeling during spring, summer or autumn, or won't consistently feel festive during the holiday period. You won't only be playing the ice-themed maps, and the seasons in games shift regardless of real time, which kinda makes buying them specifically for this factor a bit pointless. While they are amazing games in their own right anyway, I really want to try and nail this present. So how about we go the other way with it? Instead of something that is meant to be enjoyed for the Christmas period only, what if we looked at games that can give the most enjoyment possible? Well, in terms of general playtime, it's gotta be a game that you can play for hours and hours on end. Maybe some sort of sandbox game. Gmod has so many possibilities. You can make a bathtub into a weird car thing, take a ride on a roller coaster, or do this if you want. And people are constantly uploading their amazing creations for you to look through and spawn into your own server. This is what I enjoy doing most of the time when playing. However, I never tend to be playing on my own, only when I'm with a group of people, because honestly, that is when the game is at its peak for me. Laughing and joking around while playing the game, even when on other servers, is really what makes the game so fun for me. So how about a sandbox that can be enjoyed on its own, as well as with people? Minecraft is an insanely replayable game, or not even replayable if you want. You can put infinite amount of time into the same world without running out of stuff to do. Even if you beat the story, kill every boss, and get every item, there is still an infinite amount of stuff that you can build and create. I found the game most fun when I try and fill my world with cool creations, because I can constantly see them as I walk around. Back in the good old days of Minecraft Let's Plays being the top dog, I would love to watch people build up their worlds and have some strange or breathtaking things to look at while they play. But the only issue I have with the game is, sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming with all the stuff to do. And when I'm coming up with all these grand plans in my mind for my world, I can burn out really easily. So I take a break, and when I come back to playing, I start a brand new world just to repeat the cycle again. I don't know why, but going back to an old world that I haven't played on for months or years feels wrong to me. I want to go in with new goals and a new experience altogether, and not just pick up from the old one. So what kind of game is filled with tons of content, and can also be picked up and put down at will? Oh, what's this? Ah, yeah. Okay. Roguelikes are literally made to be played over and over again without needing you to invest yourself into one single run. You're supposed to put it down and then pick it back up whenever you're ready, and for it to feel exactly the same as if you never took a break. The action in these games are phenomenal because usually each run will have you focus on a different aspect of gameplay. If you have a high damage item, you're able to play around that, but if you get some sort of utility item, it's often better to play around that instead. It all depends on what you build and the RNG of the game, and this can lead to so many different combinations of items to make it basically infinitely replayable. But what if they don't want an action-packed game? This is something that I need to consider. Action-packed games are much different to relaxed, cozy games, and some gamers love one and hate the other. First-person shooters, or MOBAs, or roguelikes are amazing for high-intensity and fast-paced gameplay, but many people enjoy the cozy type of game, and maybe that's also one thing that fits into the whole festive theme too. I've mentioned Stardew Valley already, but it is one of the coziest games I've ever played. Everything is so laid back and relaxing, and if you avoid the hellscape that is the mines, you'll be stellar. But perhaps one of the coziest and most relaxed experiences that you can have with gaming can be found in visual novels. These things are amazing to play through after a long tiring day. They also give you some fantastic characters to relate to and get to know, while also having little bits of gameplay thrown in to make you feel like you're a part of the story. Coffee Talk is basically the definition of cozy. You'll be making warm drinks, meeting some mostly wholesome characters, and it's all within one of the comfiest looking coffee shops in the entire world. The soundtrack is just phenomenal too. These sort of lo-fi beats give everything the most laid-back feeling in the world, while you also have little sound effects like the door chime or the sound of the coffee machine. I'm starting to think I've found a dream career. VA11 Hall A, or Valhalla, is a much more alternative visual novel experience. Don't get me wrong, it's cozy as hell, but where Coffee Talk is a game that I'd make a cup of tea to drink while playing, Valhalla is a game that'd get me to crack open a cider to sip and relax with. The storylines can be so much more hard-hitting at times, and while Coffee Talk definitely has a lot of deeper moments, Valhalla does not hold back when it wants to shock you with a new story development. Everything feels a bit more on edge, you never really know what sort of absolute creature is going to show up in the bar next, and just when you think you're comfy, bam, whiplash. With this being said though, it's definitely still a really cozy game. Most of the characters are so amazing to get to know, and oftentimes one of my favourites will show up, and I'll get all excited inside, knowing that there's going to be some great story development on its way. Ugh, this is just so hard. I can't get all of these games, but I don't know how to decide which to keep. I wish there was some way of figuring out which the best game would be for my friend, a game they'd enjoy more than any of the others. Wait, maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. I've been looking at this from a purely logical perspective, comparing which games would be good at what things, but that isn't a way to figure out what they would personally enjoy the most. I need to find a game that would be perfect for them, not the game that would please the most people at the same time. And you know what? I've got the perfect game in mind.